Hey everybody, this is Grace. In this video I'm just going to do more about narcissistic, histrionic behaviors, dysfunctional families, along this line. It's a story that I have been writing, I don't know for how long now on this channel, and some of it I do verbal like this, and then some of it I do in writing on PowerPoint slides. And those as a video, they automatically change pages, turn the page by themselves. I just give people what I think is long enough for most people to at least be able to read before it goes to the next. Sometimes they're a little long. But anyway, like I said, some of it, when I first started doing it, was writing it was verbal like this, and they're just rough drafts to a story, and it's really more, it's like one story, one big story, but you could say it's different books within it maybe, or chapters, not really chapters, but it's just little bits here and there of stories, and they're about, like I said, narcissistic abuse, dysfunctional families, toxic people, histrionic behaviors. A lot of people, I think, that they don't really think about how destructive people with histrionic behaviors can be. I don't think that many people know about histrionic. They want to put everything under narcissistic behaviors, not diagnosing anybody with the disorders. Histrionic is one of the cluster B disorders, histrionic personality disorder, along with narcissistic personality disorder, antisocial personality disorder, and borderline personality disorder. They're all cluster Bs in the DSM. Personality disorders, yeah. Got a little bit of a headache today, but I wanted to get out and do this part because I've been thinking a lot about it. Some of it's too difficult to put on PowerPoint slides, some of the stories. PowerPoint is writing on PowerPoint is very different than just writing on a, Word. So, trust me on that. It wouldn't seem like, it would seem just like, you can type. But no, there's a lot more involved to it. But this part is about this town. Now, these two towns, and like I said, fictional towns. They're a fictional story. Nothing is real. It's all fictional. And I made them as two towns in Texas, which do not exist. They're fictional. Huge landmass, I guess, acreage. With these two towns, and they were basically founded by the family members of four families, and they're let me get this straight. 4 wealthy families sent their young married children, whichever ones would go, to start up this town. Now, it's 4 families that bought all the land, and then as time went on, generations passed. Many generations. I'm not going to say how many exactly. But they bought all the land surrounding it more and more. And so they had those 4 original families. Their children, you see, adult children. And like one of them could be the female, and the husband, the female's family was real wealthy and they bought it. And the husband, went along with them, and they settled these lands. They had those four families from the wealthy ones, and they had, way back when, they had 4 families that were servants. Okay, the servants and their children, and there could be anybody who wanted to go with them within their family, and they all settled lands in these 2 towns. Okay, in Texas. And as time went by, of course, they grew and grew and grew. So, and I'll tell you, pardon the way I'm talking, I do have a headache. So, okay. So, like I said, I've been writing this for, I don't know how long. But I never went into great detail. And this is one of those that I don't want to write out, so I'm going to do it verbally or orally. And it's about these two towns. One of them is called Peace, and P-E-A-C-E. And it's going to be one that is, like its name, it's very peaceful to live there. That was where they had most of their, original founders had most of their ranches. And as you know, from generations past, they became, and more recently, many of them are dude ranches, or I don't know what else some people call them. Like, people go there to learn how to do things too, and like ride, how to live on a ranch, and some do it for fun. And then they are actual ranches too, and they produce, have farms and stuff, surrounding. And the two cities, one is Peace, and the other one, they're let's see, like kind of like they're downtowns or something. They're kind of all together in a circle in the middle of them, and then the ranches and stuff surround them. The ranches and farms are way on the outskirts of the town, and inside the town are like houses, apartments, and then right in the middle between the two towns, that they're together, or where the original servants had lived, and over time they had built little houses, and they basically have become, some of them are boarding houses, some call them, and some are seasonal for people to come for the dude ranch. They can live there, or they can stay on the ranch, along this line. Does that make sense so far? Yeah. The other town is called Foundation. Okay, and it's more rowdy. The people live there. Most of them living there, they came from the original. Most people living there in either one of these have roots with the original founders and their families. And, both the servants and the other, and the wealthy ones, and they are all descendants of. Many of them are. But Foundations is where it's allowed to be a bit more rowdy, is what some of them call it. It's the Texan area, and they have that kind of, they call it rowdy, okay, that kind of thing. And they can live in either one of them, and the town is very, very interesting. but there's some things I would have to really dig deep to fact check and see if that's even possible. But I'm sitting here trying to organize my notes on this. But let me get through a little bit more of it. And some of these things may change as the story develops. Like I might find that that's not working. Like I said, I need to fact check and stuff, see if it can happen. And some things may change, and some things I just might change because it doesn't fit right with this story. And like I said, these are rough drafts. It's not the complete story, and they won't be in any kind of, like, I'm going to tell this part and the next one is just continuation of that first one. No, they're going to be all over the place. Like I said, just little snippets of stories, really, about dysfunction, although I already said. But not everybody is like that. Not everybody in the town has come from, has dealt with people who are narcissistic, or histrionic, or any way abusive. Not all are dysfunctional families. They have some that are not dysfunctional families, not dysfunctional people. Just like in the real world. Not the fictional world, but the real world. Okay. Basically, this is like me making highlights and jotting down, verbally jotting down some thoughts, even though I have these actually written out. Such as, I want to do, and again, the name of the towns, one is called Peace, and that's where mainly the dude ranches and stuff are. And the other one's Foundation, where it's a bit more rowdy, and they have all the business offices. I didn't say that part. They have like the business offices. These are come from wealthy people, and everybody, even the servants, they started buying, back in the olden days, started buying land, and they became wealthy landowners too, and part of the business. But that's in another video. And so the business offices were mainly in Foundation, bars, clubs. It's generally not very, doesn't have much crime, and it doesn't have much at all. It doesn't have any poverty at all, because the people who can buy, here's an important part, the people who can buy land in either one of these, and these are rural, connected together, towns, they have to be blood related to the original 8 families. original settlers, those eight families. Somehow they have to be descendants of, or had married into family and have children who are descendants of. You see? So, and that's because the interesting way that they do their money. But I need to do more videos on just this part of it, just the town, how the town is. And I'm going to blend those into the stories, but I don't want to have to retell it all every time. You see what I'm saying? So, let's see what else I wrote down here. Okay, and I'm going to tell stories, some like about the two mayors. The mayor of, one mayor of Peace and the other one mayor of Foundation. So it's going to be two separate, people and their cousins. Okay, and there's going to be stories about that. And let's see. And also life in the during the pandemic. In real life, in IRL, do many of us even hear about what others are doing during the pandemic? Not the people who are doing wrong that you can see on the news, but the other people. So I'm going to do a story concerning the two mayors and weird twists there. So also one of the radio stations, they have a radio station for both. Like I said, this is going to be very unusual, the town and the setup and everything, and they do things that are abnormal to the rest of the world, and they're very rural, no real city real close to them, lots of land and lots of properties, mainly ranches and farms. It's on the outskirts, so what touches the outskirts of those is way out there. And they're kind of like isolated in a way, but they can leave if they want to, and some do. So let's see. But it does have these radio stations, and I wrote a story. It was about on the cruise, but I'm going to take one of the two main characters of that story are going to be the ones that run the radio station. Okay, or something along that line. And let's see. I'm trying to read my notes. This was more about that one story. And I already have some stories I've written on PowerPoint. And I basically had put some of them up, but wanted to put them more in the order, so I took them down. And I'm going to I've already uploaded them again, I just haven't made them public. I'm going to try to do that in some kind of order. Let's see, what else? Okay, I've been sitting here looking over some of my notes, trying to organize them into binders and organizing just the notes themselves. But like I said, I'm going to do various stories and expect mistakes. Like I started one about two characters, Zoe and Chloe. They're twin sisters. And then after I did that, I thought maybe I should not make them twin sisters, but I'd already written it on PowerPoint and I already made it into a video. I just hadn't made it public. And then I thought maybe I shouldn't have made them as twins. And these are adults. These aren't young. They're adults. I don't know if I put an age range, but yeah, I was going to. And also in it, I wrote something like the silent game, when I meant to write the silent treatment. And expect mistakes like those, or changes like those in these videos. Okay, I've probably been sitting out here for an hour making, it seems like, my SUV into a second office. Yeah, I've been saying that for months now. And I have a bunch of binders and all this kind of stuff in here. But I've been sitting here trying to organize stuff into binders and all that, and for the stories. And I also do videos that are about narcissistic behaviors, histrionic behaviors, along this line. And that aren't connected to any story. They're just videos about a variety of things, like the mean girls, the smear campaigns, mean girls that are adults, smear campaigns, different things like that. So if you want to watch it, just check out the homepage, see which one you want to watch, or check out the playlist and see those. I think I want to go ahead and wrap this up. I was going to tell more of the town, about the town, but I think I'll have to do that in a totally separate video. Or videos, because there's a lot to it, more to it than I've already mentioned, and I'm still having this headache, so I think I need to go in and, like I said, I've been out here about an hour, so anyway, I'll talk to you on another video.